I am so freaking excited to see Aquaman. You don't even understand my flippin' excitement for this movie. It better be awesome. I want to give this movie an A+++++. I'm on my way. Thank you, Amazon. I'm moments away, and I will have seen Aquaman and unlocked the secrets of the future of the DCEU. I am Durban, the king of Durbania. Behold my mighty yardstick. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durban, and this is my spoiler-free review for Aquaman. Way to go, DC. Way to freaking go. Oh my gosh. It was good. Not A++++ good, kind of like what I was saying I wanted in my intro there, but I'm going to give it a solid A. I thought this movie was an absolute blast. It was incredibly epic. It was a sight to behold. It was an all-around good movie. Did it have a few weaknesses? Of course it did, because all movies do. So that's just something that happens, apparently. But it was overall a solid film, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, first off, let's just talk about the visuals, because it's the obvious thing that you see when you're watching the trailers. The visuals are pretty darn incredible through the whole movie. There's only a few places where they're not so great, but they're minor places. It's like, you know, you have Aquaman on a boat, and it really does look like a green screen, and maybe a few other places where it really does kind of look like a green screen. It's not like the worst you can make something look that looks like a green screen, but there's just a few minor places where you could tell they were in a green room filming this scene. Beyond a few places like that, whenever they were exploring the kingdoms of the seven seas and all the epic underwater stuff that was going on, it really did look awesome. I mean, you can't watch this movie now and complain about the darkness of the DCEU. Because where once DC was literally dark when you look at the screen, it is now vibrant and bright with all kinds of crazy luminescent colors. There were a few scenes in the opening where Nicole Kidman has her epic fight with some of these soldiers of Atlantis. Their suits were like so bright and funky looking, I thought it was kind of cheesy. Like, I just seriously saw that, like, well, that's kind of corny. Then they started fighting, and I went, I don't care. I don't care what their suits look like. That fight looks awesome. And so that's kind of like the back and forth I kept having with this movie. We explore the seven seas, and visually it looks awesome. And then the characters drop a really cheesy line, or somebody's wearing a really cheesy costume, and then all of a sudden the action begins, and it's like, I don't care anymore. What just happened? I don't care. Yeah, that was cheesy. Fine. This is awesome. So whenever they dived into the action and they did their fight scenes, they did a really good job. And no shaky cam. It was awesome. And it was all steady as they were fighting and doing all that stuff. So yeah, all of that was like really cool looking. Now, like I said, there were some cheesy lines. It's kind of interesting though, because this is a superhero movie. So it does follow some of the, you know, tropes of the superhero genre. But it's also a quest movie, kind of like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, where it's an epic fantasy tale where your main character is after something. In this case, it is like the trident supreme that rules the seven seas. This is the object that they are after so that Aquaman could be the true king and lord of the seas. And so he's going after this thing, and all of it has that very epic quest feel. And I really liked that. So it followed a lot of the tropes of that genre. So it definitely had moments where it was very predictable. There were some moments where you could clearly see this is setting up something else that's going to happen later, and you could guess what it was. I mean, there was a few scenes where it's like, oh, okay, now that this is here, I know what's going to happen at a certain point in the end. I mean, it's not like I could sit there and say I know what the whole ending is going to be. Epic superhero fight against the villain. It's not like I could say I knew what the whole ending was going to be, but there were definitely a few little things where I could guess what little things they were going to do, and I was 100% right. So yes, some places it was cheesy, especially like a couple scenes where you had flashbacks to teenager Aquaman. I don't know if it was the delivery or if it was the way the lines were written, but there was something about some of those scenes that were just a little bit corny, and then some of the newscaster scenes were just a little bit corny. But that's like nothing. That's like minor in compared to the whole film. The action was amazing. The visuals are incredible. The story really was epic. It is a credit to its genre. It is a great superhero film. It is a great fantasy film. It is a great sci-fi film. So yeah, it may have its weaknesses or whatever, but man, I'm telling you, this movie is worth seeing. Especially by buying the ticket, we're telling DC, we like this, we support this, man. And I love DC. I love Man of Steel, I love Wonder Woman, and you want the honest truth, I know the DC Trinity is Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, but there is now a DCEU Trinity, in my opinion, and that is Superman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman. That's no insult to Ben Affleck at all. I think he's a great Batman. It's just, you know, we haven't got tons of his Batman yet, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future here. But what I'm looking at here is what is solid is Wonder Woman has had an amazing, solid movie. I think Man of Steel is an amazing, solid movie, and Aquaman now joins that as an amazing, solid movie. So to me, that's the Trinity of the DCEU, and Jason Momoa owns this role. He is incredible as Aquaman. This guy took it, he had fun with it, he took it serious, he had a blast. I mean, it just, he was that role. One thing that was in the trailer that I kind of wish wasn't, was him coming out in the original Aquaman suit. And the only reason I wish it wasn't in the trailer is because it was still epic in the film. It's just the build-up to that moment was epic. But it's kind of like in your head as you're watching the build-up, it's like, oh, well, I know exactly how this is going to end. I mean, it's a superhero movie. You know how it's going to end anyway, but you understand what I'm saying, right? If we didn't have that moment in the trailer, then it would have been a total surprise to see him in the original Aquaman garb. That would have been so much fun. But even though we saw that in the trailer, it doesn't diminish kind of the epicness of what it took for him to get that suit and him stepping out in it. Like, that was pretty slick. So this movie getting a solid A. I am looking forward to seeing it again this Christmas season with my family. Cannot wait to see it again, and I'm going to own this movie and add it to my collection. So, when you see Aquaman, I can't wait to hear from you. What did you think of this movie? Let's talk about that in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian and hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for my next movie review, ranking video, theological analysis, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.